In this exercise, you will be creating a frame-by-frame animation. So when you open Flash, you're going to create a new ActionScript 3.0. And remember that this is your stage, this is your scratch board, or kind of like behind stage, behind the curtain. And here is your timeline. And the timeline is what makes everything happen. As you can see, in this first frame of your timeline, you have an empty circle, or an outline of a circle. That shows that you have an empty keyframe. And remember, a keyframe basically means that some sort of change is taking place. But because ours is empty, it means there's nothing on that keyframe. So we're going to start by putting something there. We are going to go ahead and type the word animation. And I'll let you choose your color. I'm going to choose Cougar Red. And I'll let you choose your font. And you may have some different fonts than I do. That's okay. Choose your own. And we need to make it a little bit bigger. Not quite half the width of the stage. Okay, so make it similar in size to mine. All right, now if you look at the timeline, you are going to see that I have a solid circle here. That is a keyframe. That means that some sort of change is taking place. Now with a frame-by-frame animation, that means that we are creating lots of keyframes because we are making something change in each of those frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a keyframe here. There's several ways to do that. I can go to Insert, Timeline, Keyframe. I can also do F6. That's the function keys at the top of the keyboard. I can also do a control click and choose Insert Keyframe. And notice that the playhead moves over once I've done that. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm going to have my word kind of move in a circle until it gets back to here. And my frame rate right now is 24 frames per second. So I want this to take 2 seconds. So I'm just going to use the arrows on my keyboard and I'm going to move it up a couple and over one. Okay, and then I'm going to continue to insert a keyframe until I make my way all the way around. Whoops. And, oh, I didn't mean, I hit too many F6s. Let me undo. Got ahead of myself. Actually, I just held on to it too long. Okay, now I can put in an F6 again. Sorry. Oops, mine may take me more than that. I don't know. Okay, and now we are working our way back up. Okay, so mine actually did take, I was able to get it right at 48 frames. So if I hit return on my keyboard right now, it's going to play around so that it moves in a circle. Okay, so that is by definition a frame by frame animation. It moves one frame at a time based on all of the keyframes that it runs through on your timeline. Pretty simple. So what I would like you to do now is think of something else that you can animate. Right down here at the bottom of your timeline is the ability to create a new layer. Looks very similar to how it did in Photoshop. You can name your layers. This one will be the on your own. I want you to choose something that you can animate, whether it be shapes, whether it looks like an eye opening or whatever, and do it on this other layer. Now I do want to point out that when you create this new layer, it looks a little bit different. It doesn't have all of the lines on it showing you where the frames are. Well, the frames are still there, but Flash assumes that since you made something that lasted 48 frames or whatever length yours was, that your new layer is going to last similar amount of time. Okay, so you can, and I'm just going to lock this and put something on here so you can see, you can do the same thing, F6, and see how it's still creating frame by frame. Okay, I haven't moved that little rectangle at all, but it's there on each of those frames. Okay, so I want you to create your own frame by frame animation that lasts approximately the same amount of time as the letters, and save this as, whoops, file save as, and this is going to be period, last name, frame by frame. Okay, and remember that your native file format is a .fla. Okay, this is how you are going to go and be able to open it and edit it. It's going to go in your Flash folder that is in schools. Remember that I do not have schools. That's why I'm saving it where I am. And then once you have it saved, if you come here to Control, Test Movie, it's going to give you the sample of what you did. And when you go to that folder, which is mine is right here, that one that you tested is a .swf. A .swf simply means that it's going to open in a Flash player. This is the one that cannot be edited. This is the one that if you wanted to put it on a website, it would go on a website. If you wanted to email it to somebody, you could email it to somebody. It does not require the Flash software in order to view it. It does require the Flash player, which is standard on all computers now. Okay, and then this is the one, the .swf, that you will follow the directions to upload to your Google Sites.